video for a few weeks now, and I'm very glad to be back. So in terms of painting, I'm working away on a commission right now. Hopefully it'll be finished by the time this video goes up, so I'll give you all the details about that very soon. But this video really is focused on the writing side of my career. I'm working away on my novel slowly but surely, as I always say, and in fact I've told a few more people about it, which is always quite nerve-wracking because I don't have a publisher, I don't have a deadline. I'm writing it purely for fun, purely for honesty, so it's always that little bit, not quite embarrassing, but certainly a little daunting to tell people about it and make it a reality. But I don't mind that. I'm happy to chart my progress, and however it manifests, however it ends up, is fine with me. As long as I write honestly and write sincerely, then that's the best I can do. And to that end, actually, I feel I really have turned a corner because I'm trying my best to keep the fun in it. It's very easy for me to be quite rigid, quite kind of sitting myself down and forcing myself to turn out prose before it's ready, but now I'm trying to just follow my intuition. So sometimes it's planning, sometimes it's writing dialogue, sometimes it's just spending half an hour on get a sentence just perfect. But whichever way it goes, at least it's mine. Even if it if it condenses, if the 50,000 words condense down to a 4-line poem, it will be mine. What can you do? But having said that, probably watching me typing on my laptop is not the most exciting video in the world. So this week I thought I would try something a little different. And what I'm going to do is take a video shelfie. So essentially this is going to be a tour of my bookcase. When I was fortunate enough to be shortlisted for the Vogue Young Talent Prize, that was back in 2016, one of the aspects of the competition had been to suggest items that could feature in the magazine, and one of my ideas was an interview with the person next to their bookcase talking about their desert island reads, the books that meant most to them, and that is the kind of angle that I've tried to take today. So let's head downstairs and have a look. So here we are at my bookcase. Now, for reasons of space, I actually only have room for one, but as you're about to discover, we are somewhat over capacity in here. There was a structure once upon a time. There's an alphabeticalisation that has sadly died a death in recent months and years. So let me highlight some of my favourites and let me know if you've read any and if you have any recommendations. Let's get started. So here we are. Here is my bookcase in all its messy glory. Down and down. No, I forgot those little ones at the bottom. We shall come to them. So starting on the top shelf, once upon a time, this was where I kept my classics. So you can see going Austen, Bronte, used to have an alphabetical order that I've then layered on top, so it's not alphabetical anymore, but the skeleton of that remains. So yeah, a lot of these you'll be familiar with. Truman Capote, really an incredible writer. People will be familiar with Breakfast at Tiffany's, the film, and as you'll find out, I'm a big fan of Audrey Hepburn, but the actual novella is really, he's an exquisite writer, a terribly sad life story, but it's really an exquisite turn of phrase that he has. And that particular copy, this Breakfast at Tiffany's, is an illustrated one as well, so that's one of my most treasured books. So this is the copy of Breakfast at Tiffany's that I was talking about. It's from the Folio Society, who really, if you're ever looking for a bookish gift, they are your place to go. They, as you can see, they just illustrate them so beautifully, sort of bound, absolutely gorgeous. And if we turn inside, be able to see quite a few really the most elegant illustrations. There's one that's my favourite because she has her little Tiffany box. And interestingly, you'll note Holly Golightly is actually blonde, as she is in the story, and I've seen a few stage adaptations now of Breakfast at Tiffany's where she does have kind of, I mean, Audrey Hepburn has sort of highlighted lightish hair in the film, but actually she's quite blonde, quite wild. In fact, there's always that rumour that Marilyn Monroe was Truman Capote's first choice to play her, but she didn't want to play a girl who had sort of less savoury aspects to her career, let's say. So that was how Audrey Hepburn ended up with the part. But yeah, in terms of the book, just the most gorgeous illustrations. Really, it would make a wonderful gift if you're ever looking for a Breakfast at Tiffany's fan. Here we're going into more English classics now, so you can see Dickens, a very well loved copy of Bleak House. I wrote quite a few essays on that when I was still at school, so you can probably see, I wonder where those creases lead to actually. My favourite chapters clearly. And some more classics around the corner, but you can't really make them out because I've also been putting my most recent purchases here. So these are actually all non-fiction, really great memoirs, feminist memoirs in different aspects of feminism. I'd highly recommend. Actually, this whole bundle, really enjoyed them a great deal. And over here are my new fiction purchases. So you know that I love Elizabeth Strout and Madeline Miller. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Circe. Madeline Miller wrote Song of Achilles, which is also further down in this bookshelf. Won I believe was it called the Orange Prize at that point? Really wonderful writer, and actually I'm enjoying this one even better. Moving down, you can just about, this is where it gets really messy, make out some further classic. There's Far From the Madding Crowd. Oh, I get some really moving quotations from that. I've mentioned Thomas Hardy in my blog before. Really love that. And Les Miserables is the pretty one, the red and navy that you can't really make out. Again, more modern ones here. Oh, Sparkjoy, Marie Kondo. Oh, I could talk about Marie Kondo all day. Beautiful style of organising. Very worth having a Google. In fact, that would make another good video if I went through these. And basically, you only keep the possessions that spark joy. Unfortunately, I think probably most of these books do spark joy, so perhaps we're just destined to have a crowded little bookcase over here. And these are actually, some of these I've read, some of these I've not. I've not started the Denise Mina ones yet. Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, that's a great read. Sort of very enjoyable, very subtle. The Bell Jar, that has actually in some ways, in a subtle way, it's inspired my own novel, in that it's very much about women's mental health, women's empowerment. Although Sylvia Plath, again, like Truman Capote, very tragic life story. Yeah, that's going to be a feature, isn't it? That a lot of authors end up having tragic tales. Oh, here, something a little bit different. This is more or less my Audrey Hepburn bundle. I am such a great admirer of Audrey, her compassion and her style, not just as an actress but as a humanitarian, far before celebrities kind of did that as a matter of course. Very empathetic, very giving person, so I really love learning more about her. You'll see actually the two books here, Audrey at Home and Elegant Spirit, they are both written by her two sons. So her two sons from her first and second marriage. So it's actually amazing how different their approaches are, different their takes are. So I'll maybe discuss them. They're, if you're an Audrey fan at all, really wonderful read. And Portraits of an Icon. Was that National Portrait Gallery? Yep, National Portrait Gallery. Some beautiful images in that as well. And the rest are, again, kind of Hollywood fashion. Lovely little light relief bundle there. So here are my two Audrey books, and it's amazing actually, written by either son, how different they are. So An Elegant Spirit is written by Sean Hepburn Frere, who was Audrey's first son with her first husband, Mel Frere. And it is really it was quite hard to get hold of, but a very powerful book, very spiritual almost. You can see that she had a really deep relationship with his mum, very emotional, and I feel like you really get to know her well if you read this one. Audrey at Home is written by Luca Dotti, who's her second son, and he's Italian, half Italian. They grew up in Italy for a portion of their life, and it's a beautiful kind of inside story. It's kind of her domestic life. Quite a few recipes in it, but I don't know that she was the biggest cook really. I think you don't really think of Audrey Hepburn as a terribly passionate cook, so it's kind of spaghetti, chocolate, relatively straightforward food. And there actually though are some of paintings made by her as well, which is beautiful. Now and again there's always an auction of personal items, and I watch it with keen interest, and they always go into the tens of thousands, and I can't afford anything. I would give my right arm, well not my right arm because then I couldn't paint, but I would so dearly love something like that she'd actually painted. perhaps one day. Subscribe! Now moving down, it's a mess. So my childhood books are at the very back. So there's C.S. Lewis, and everyone will recognise Harry Potter just behind there. But in too much of a mess to dwell on. But yeah, this is kind of more recent fiction that I've bought in recent years. So there's Kate Atkinson at the end there. Kate Atkinson, wonderful writer, wrote the Jackson Brodie series. Television adaptation, very nearly as good with Jason Isaacs, but the books are probably just half the edge. And yeah, a lot of this fiction, kind of modern fiction, you'll probably recognise. I've got quite a collection of Julian Barnes, a very subtle writer, can be a little bit mournful. So I don't know what that says about me, but I have enjoyed them, and you can see that there's a very light touch. They're not big tomes, they're very thoughtful pieces. Oh, Swans of Fifth Avenue, that is actually a fictionalisation of Truman Capote's life, so I really enjoyed that. Tom Hanks, I've mentioned Tom Hanks' book before, and oh, I've put it next to, you see the rooftop busker here? That is where my short story was first published, the first short story I ever had published. And New Writing Scotland are also going to be publishing a second piece by me this summer, so more details on that coming soon. And this little collection here are children's series given to me by my grandma by a little girl called Kirsten, but she's not Scottish, she's not even Scandinavian, she lives in the prairie, I think. So they're beautifully illustrated, kind of quite a quirky little find. So they're there for no particular reason, no thematic reason at all. And here's little Kirsten. I wanted to take these out to see what she looks like. So yeah, she's a little prairie girl. What does it say in the back? A pioneer girl of strength and spirit who settles on the frontier. Very Jamestown. Well, in fact, this is a bit after Jamestown, isn't it? So yeah, not exactly a doppelganger, but there you go. And in fact, oh, American Girls, there's a collection, all these different girls, so whichever girl you know, whatever her name is, there's a book here for her. Moving down here, more fiction, squashed at the back there. We definitely need to do a Spark Joy tidy up of this bookcase. But yeah, more fiction. Now, oh, Rebecca Hunt, she, like me, well, not like me because I'm not a published novelist yet, perhaps one day, but she began her career as an artist, and she works as an artist and has also written the 2 novels here. Mr. Chartwell, again, is a really quirky, creative account of actually depression. Chartwell was Churchill's home, and Churchill famously suffered depression that he characterised as a black dog. And in this book, the black dog kind of comes to life. So yeah, very quirky tale, very enjoyable. And here we have Hamilton. Now, you know, absolutely adore Hamilton. This was actually a friend won it in a raffle, gave it to me, and I read the book before I'd even heard the soundtrack, so it was strange because I'm imagining the songs and imagining how they go, and yeah, they're more talented than me. It was a great surprise to actually hear it, but really learned about the production, about all the lyrics, about how the musical was created. Really wonderful read. Love that very much. Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton, and there's a million things I haven't done, but just you wait, just you wait. Yay! Jessie Burton, I'm sure a lot of you have read Jessie Burton, and Zoe Heller, again, great. Now Amy Sackville, Orkney, that's actually not dissimilar to the atmosphere I'm trying to create in my own novel. Obviously that's set in Orkney and a little magical. Mine only has touches of natural magic, not kind of potions and spells and all that sort of thing. But yeah, slightly playful and slightly set in the Highlands, so yeah, that's not dissimilar to my own. Moving down here, oh, A Very English Scandal, that's on TV right now. Hopefully by the time this video goes up it might have finished, so I shall be reading the book after I've watched the rest of the film. And oh, my friends' anthologies, I love them so much. You see how grubby they are. When I was from age 10 onwards, I would read them and I would copy Jennifer Aniston's hair. Well, I say copy, nobody would have known I was copying it. It looked a mess, but that was the intention. Some Shakespeare. Oh, these are wonderful children's books. The Shakespeare's plays, that has the funniest illustrations. really, really great for kids. You can see the Queen and you can see the peasants watching the play. It's really cute. Seriously, this is the cutest Shakespeare book you will ever find. Wait till I show you the inside. So you've got all the... everybody heading to the Globe to go and see the plays, and just, oh, it really made me laugh. It makes me laugh as an adult, never mind as a child. And we have there's a lot of sass in Romeo and Juliet. Don't worry, Duck. It'll all end happily. Spoiler alert, no it won't. Oh, they're all crying. Oh, it's so funny. I think kids would really enjoy this story. And just, it's like Horrible Histories. You could just sit for hours and look at all the illustrations. And it really condenses the story in quite a good way. I used to have friends at school that found it quite helpful if they were trying to cram at the last minute. Oh, Midsummer Night's Dream. Surely the greatest play ever written. Add a comment if you disagree, which I'm sure many of you will. Ali Smith, wonderful Scottish writer. Some more Kate Atkinson. What you doing down there? Collie Psychology, randomly. That was a Christmas gift from Gypsy, actually. Gypsy, my border collie. I think she wrote Merry Christmas in it as well, because collies are just that smart. Oh, now, this is a good old bundle right here. So We're All Completely Beside Ourselves, Karen Joy Fowler. That's a wonderful book. It's very much about animal rights, and yet handled in a very quirky, very playful way. Really adored that book. And again, that's sort of inspired my own work slightly, in that we have quite a few animal characters in the book that's currently known as Ellen and Arbor, the one that I'm writing, although I change the title now and again, depending on what suits it. One, Lorraine. Now, I'm sure many of you have come across him already. Wonderful French writer. These are all translated into English, although I would like to read the French, even though it would probably take me 10 years or so, but you know, what's the girl to do? Really, such, again, a light touch, really creative, really special. There's something about French literature that just is so playful and open-minded, and really, these are probably the books that I recommend most. Oh, The President's Hat. Now this was Antoine Lauren's, I don't think it was the first book that he wrote, but it was the first one that was translated into English. It's about President Mitterrand in the 80s in France. He leaves his hat on the table, an ordinary man puts it on his head and somehow finds that he is brimming with confidence, that life is going well, and yet he loses the hat, somebody else tries it on, and is it really the hat? Does it have a magical aspect, or is it just bringing out the best in them? So really playful. You could probably read it in an afternoon, certainly over a long weekend. Highly, highly recommended. Next to a far larger book, but you know that the Goldfinch is very close to my heart. Inspired one of my tattoos. Again, a tone of animal rights, tone of art. Really, really wonderful. And oh, Larchfield by Polly Clark. So Polly Clark actually featured in the New Writing Scotland edition that I was in. So, and she has now gone on to publish, it's on W.H. Auden. That book, really, really wonderful work. Oh, and Damien Wilkins just at the end there, Max Gate. I remember he gave a speech at the university. A speech, it wasn't really, it was a sort of creative writing session. And yeah, really, really nice guy. So that is signed by him. And oh, it's on Thomas Hardy, I should have said. So the bottom, this is when we kind of get into my, well, I want to say non-fiction, we're not quite there. So you see National Gallery, a lot of art books. These are actually, some of these I won when I won the Glasgow Women's Library Poetry Prize. It was the most incredible bundle of books, and I actually keep them down here so that I have something to read. Some of these I haven't actually finished yet, so it's like if you're ever snowed in, or if you're ever not well and you're looking for a little spare book, then that's my corner. Alistair Gray and oh, it's Dali. So yeah, getting into my art books now. There's a couple in ballet there, but a lot on Whistler from back in the day, a lot on the Impressionists, and Marina Abramovic. Now, any Sex and the City fans will recognise one of her famous works. Now, what was the title of it? House with Sea Walls? House with the Sea View? Where she actually lived in the gallery for 24 hours a day. So yeah, that's familiar to Sex and the City, a crossover between avant-garde and Sex and the City, which can't complain about that. And then at the very bottom, for shame, bundled up on the floor for shame, are some more art books. You know the size of them. These are kind of coffee table books, but I don't have a coffee table, so they live down here. Alan Ramsay, wonderful Scottish artist, Portraits of the Enlightenment. That was at the Hunterian Art Gallery, and one of the exhibitions that really inspired me to become an art historian. Hammershoy. Now, the most understated works, very, very stylish, very, very pared back. Doesn't get a lot of attention, but I think he should. And a couple on Van Gogh there. And is that a leaf? That's not good. That probably belongs to Miss Gypsy. I think we'll just grab that, shall we, while we're here? Right. And that is a tour of the grand old bookcase. Last but by no means least, I forgot probably the cutest book I ever owned or ever shall own. Once upon a time, or a couple of years ago, a guinea pig rescue published a guinea pig nativity, so they actually dressed the piggies up in little sort of Mary and Joseph, and it was the cutest thing, or I thought it was the cutest thing. And then they brought out a piggy, Pride and Prejudice. Oh, this piggy's actually the same colour as my guinea pig Buttercup was. Fudge and Buttercup were my boys. Oh, wonderful chaps. Oh, here's the cast. Oh my gosh. And actually all the proceeds go to a guinea pig rescue. Why guinea pigs need rescued? You think, look after your piggies, people. Oh my goodness, there's Mr. Bingley. Look at Mr. Bingley. He the cutest. Oh, they're big bums. Oh my gosh, if you've ever had a guinea pig, you just fall in love with them. I mean, any animal that is too fat to sit, essentially, they're either lying down or they're standing, you think is all right with me. Where's Lizzie? Oh, Mr. Wickham. Look at him, fancy as always. Where's Lizzie? I want to see what she looks like. God, why is it taking me so long? Oh, look. Oh, they're getting married. Oh, piggy wedding. Oh. So yeah, all that I said about Donna Tartt, Antoine Lorraine, Hamilton, favourite book right here. So that's me. That is a whistle stop, probably not whistle stop enough actually, I think I might have spoken too long. A little tour of my bookcase to give you a flavour of the books that are most important to me, inspiring to me, and yeah, by all means let me know your favourites. If you've read anything here, what you thought of it, I'd love to hear your ideas, and check out this month's blog. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Lafayette, I'm taking this horse by the reins, making head goes red with... Lafayette, I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coats ready with blood stains. Lafayette, I'm never gonna stop until I make him drop a venom up and scatter the remains of Lafayette. Watch me again, engage in them, escape. Oh. Watch me engage in them, escape, and I'm again. Lafayette, I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coats ready with blood stains. Lafayette, I'm never gonna stop until I make him drop a venom up and scatter the remains of Lafayette. Watch me again, engage in them, escape, and I'm at. Oh man, every time. Lafayette, I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coats ready with blood stains. Lafayette, I'm never gonna stop until I make him drop a venom up and scatter the remains of Lafayette. Watch me engage in them, escape, and I'm enraged and I'm out. Lafayette, I'll go to France for more funds and come back with more guns and ships, and I'm gonna stop now. You're not a millennial till you've embarrassed yourself on the internet, folks.